If you remember in the previous full English lesson, I talked about recycling at home. Do we have the clip? Do we have the clip? You know, the clip from my last full English lesson. Do you have the clip? Do you have it? Do you have the clip? Do you have the clip?
Do you have the clip?
Well, after that segment was shown, I received thousands. What's that? Not thousands. How many then? Was it hundreds? Not hundreds. How many was it? How many people complained? How many?
How many complained?
How many? 6. Just 6. That's all. Well, since that segment was posted, I have received 6 complaints from people saying that I should have first crushed the plastic bottles before placing them into the recycle box. So, just for you, here is a bottle I crushed earlier. Well, hello there. Fancy seeing you here. How lovely it is to see you again. My name is Mr. Duncan. Welcome to another full English lesson. This is the 20th edition. And look, the sun has decided to come out for us. Isn't that nice? Of course, most of my English lessons are made right here in England, the birthplace of rugby, the Beatles, George Formby, Stan Laurel, Sir Isaac Newton, the motorised vacuum cleaner, Boy George, the Bronte sisters, and of course the English language, which is, as always, the star of the show. So without any more pontificating, hesitation, dawdling or beating about the bush, let's get started with today's full English lesson right Is there anything worse than starting something new? Could there be a more nerve-wracking feeling than doing something for the first time? Being new to or at something must be one of the hardest situations to find yourself having to deal with. Perhaps you've just started a new job or begun to learn a new skill. Maybe you are using that acquired skill for the first time in a real situation. Whatever the circumstances, being new at something can be tough. A person who's just recently started doing something new can be described as a newbie or a newcomer. They are new at the job. A person without experience can be described as being green. They are just starting out. That person is a novice, a beginner. They are learning the ropes, which means that the person in question is a trainee. He or she is learning how to do something. A trainee is a person who learns while they watch another person working. They can also be described as an apprentice. Here's an interesting word that you might not have seen before. The word is portmanteau. This word has more than one definition. As a noun, it means a large leather bag or suitcase used for transporting clothes whilst travelling. However, the word portmanteau also has another meaning, which is the combination of two separate things that have been joined together to form something new. In linguistics, a portmanteau is a word formed by combining or morphing two words together. For example, the words brunch, cineplex, email, fortnight, infomercial, motel, podcast, and smog are all types of portmanteau. The word portmanteau itself derives from the combination of two French words, which means that portmanteau is itself a combination of two separate words. Do you like to whistle? I know I do. I often whistle a little tune to myself when I'm feeling down, as it tends to cheer me up. I'm not very good at whistling, but I still enjoy doing it. I remember when I was living in China, I would always be told off for whistling. "Don't whistle, Mr. Duncan. It's rude." But I could not help myself. Sometimes when you are feeling happy, you just want to share that feeling with others by whistling a little tune to yourself. Not everyone is able to whistle. Some people can whistle very loudly. Can you whistle? I love watching movies and TV shows, especially when my favourite performers are in them. However, sometimes I find myself wondering whether or not they are putting as much effort into their performances as they could be. For instance, sometimes an actor in a movie might give a subdued performance in their role. I'm sure we have all seen this happen. When this occurs, we can say that the actor is phoning in their actions. They are not putting as much effort into what they are doing as they usually do. I didn't think much of Bruce Willis in The Whole Nine Yards. He seemed to be phoning it in. This means that the actor in question seemed bored and disinterested in the role he was playing. He seemed to be phoning it in. A dull performance can be described as weak, lackluster, bland, and uninspiring. They are doing it without any interest whatsoever. They are phoning it in. I'm sorry for eating your last banana. Do you forgive me?
Yes, I forgive you.
That's nice. Saying sorry to another person can be a very difficult thing to do. It can take us a long time to offer an apology, sometimes months or even years. We often resist saying sorry because in our own mind we feel that there is nothing to apologise for. Also, there is the feeling of losing face or backing down, which can put us off apologising to someone indefinitely, thus preventing us from ever saying sorry to that person. It's time now to take a look at another buzzword. A buzzword is a word or sentence that is popular or well used during a certain period of time. Today's buzzword is meme. In its original use, the word meme is a noun that means an element of a culture or system of behaviour passed on from one individual to another by imitation or other non-genetic means. That is to say, a habit or type of behaviour which is passed on by being copied or imitated by others. These days the word meme relates to an image, video or piece of text which is typically humorous in nature, that is copied and spread rapidly by internet users, often with slight variations. So, a meme is a funny picture, or a humorous video clip, or a catchy slogan. I'm sure recently you have looked at a meme on the internet. Perhaps it was that winning baby, or maybe that miserable cat, or that sarcastic reinterpretation of Willy Wonka, or perhaps it was that annoyed baby. Each one of these images is a good example of a meme. English can be a confusing subject, and just to prove it, here are two confusing words. They are possibly and probably. The word possibly is an adverb that can be used to indicate doubt or hesitancy. An uncertain statement might use possibly. The man was bleeding, possibly from a stab wound. You can use possibly in a polite question. Could you possibly open the window? To emphasize in a sentence that something is surprising or bewildering. What can you possibly mean? To emphasize that someone has or will put all their effort into something. Run as fast as you possibly can. The word probably is also an adverb that is used to state that something is certainly going to happen. To be sure of the outcome means that you can say that it will probably happen. From your point of view, or as far as you can tell, the outcome is likely to occur that way. I think she'll probably pass the exam. The guests probably won't arrive until later. What exactly is a phrasal verb? Well, first of all, a verb is a word that expresses an action. It is a doing word. It shows an action. Phrasal verbs are formed by two or more words, usually consisting of an adverb and a main verb. They can be transitive or intransitive. Good examples of phrasal verbs include run out. You run out of petrol. You've used up all the petrol. The petrol has run out. The car has used up all the petrol. Another good phrasal verb is hang up. To end a telephone conversation is to hang up. You hang up on someone. You hang up on the person you are talking to. Then there is hand in. You hand in your homework. You give the homework to your teacher. Another phrasal verb is mix up. This can be the action of combining or mixing two or more things together. Mix up can also mean to mistake one thing for another. Phrasal verbs are used as a way of expressing an action in an informal way. They can often be confusing to those learning English as a second language. Do you ever use a term of endearment? Do you ever whisper sweet nothings? Is there a special name you give to your loved one? A term of endearment is a special name that is given to something or someone cherished or loved. A cherished possession might be given a name. A person who means a lot to someone might have a pet name. The pet name is what that thing or person is called. It has been given a pet name. You might give your car a pet name. Something beloved and dear to you might end up with a pet name. In relationships, it is commonplace for those involved to give each other pet names. For example, pet names can include Blossom, Cutesy Pie, Flopsy, Honey Bun, Kitten, Muffin, Petal, Precious, Snowdrop, Snuggle Bunny, Sugar Plum, Sweetheart, Sweetie Pie. These are all known as terms of endearment. They are often only shared in private between those involved in the relationship. Do you have a pet name for something or someone? Don't worry, you can share it with me. I won't tell anyone what it is. Honestly. Yes, I'll be there very soon. It's all right. I just have to wrap up my full English lesson and then I'll be there with you. Okay, bye-bye. Love you. Sadly, that is all I have time for today. Yes, another full English lesson has come to an end. But do not fear, because I will be back here very soon with some more super duper English lessons just for you. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of the English language, that is of course England, saying thank you for watching me teaching you. And of course, until the next time we meet on the super duper internet highway, ta-ta for now.